okay, to stop abusing these terrorists. Because in America, it seems it's okay to abuse everyone except the bad guys. But look, we know you're anxious about the election. We're going to get the election stuff out of the way quick so we can bring these gentlemen on and tell you the really real deal of what happened in Benghazi, Libya. And so now on to the election. Total repudiation of leftism. As a matter of fact, had Gillespie been more aggressive against Warner, and again, folks, you've been hearing me say this for years. Same thing with Ken Cuccinelli against McAuliffe. Same thing with the presidential election. Okay, Mitt Romney against Obama. These guys are playing softball. They're trying to be dignified. They're trying to be Boy Scouts. They think they're going to get some kind of brownie points because they're not beating up on the opposition. And again, I never asked them to lie. I never asked them to stretch the truth. I'm only asking them, take the facts and use them effectively, okay? It's called being efficient, okay? You take what you have and do what you have to do. It was not done. So Mark Warner, on a day when we had a total wave across this nation, folks, it was a total wave. Gillespie comes oh so close, less than 1%. Oh so close. Yeah, horseshoes and hand grenades, not politics, okay? You got to finish. You got to finish, okay? And I don't want to hear it about this guy being a potential gubernatorial nominee 3 years from now. Don't want to hear it, okay? We need men and women that are toting a set of onions. And I don't mean scallions. I mean shown up onions, okay? You take these persimmons and these grapes and these blueberries and you got to go. Total waste of an opportunity. In Maryland, for crying out loud. In Maryland. Maryland is a one-state, one-party state. You got a Republican governor in Maryland, the People's Republic of Maryland, of all places. I mean, but it was, overall, it was a great day, okay? Never mind Gillespie couldn't close it out. I'm just praying, please, Lord, let the next time we have someone that does not mind taking the truth of these people and taking it all the way to the mat. But as it is, 8 to 9 pickups, solid control in the Senate for the Republicans. Now, of course, the media got it all wrong. The pollsters got it all wrong. They were off by 8 to 11 points across the board. Now, some would say it's incompetence. You know, the hatchet man, I say it's bias. But you out there, you listeners, you make your own decision. Are these people incompetent, or do they come to the table with a preconceived bias and they're tricking you and they're being dishonest with you? You decide. But the big thing now is the way forward, okay? The media and the pundits are going to continue to convince you that any potential senator goofball that will listen to them, that there is no conservative mandate to stop this Obama scam healthcare law, all right? Only to get along with Democrats and get something done, okay? Because they think your big thing is you don't want gridlock. I think there were a lot of Germans in World War II would love to have had some gridlock, okay? I think the Russians, some of them would love to have had gridlock with the Bolsheviks. How about the 1/3 of Cambodia that died under Pol Pot? Would they have liked to have had some gridlock? I think so. How about the 80 million that died from democide in China? You see, folks, when big government gets so big to the point where they think they can kill people, they have a name for it. Democide. They have a name for that. I think they would have preferred gridlock. What about you? If you've lost your job, or you know someone that's lost their job, or their benefits, or their insurance, or their full-time status, or just fewer opportunities to do business if you're self-employed as a result of Obama scam and all these related things that this administration is doing, maybe you would prefer gridlock to this unnamed something that the Republicans are supposed to get together with the Democrats and do, okay? Time will only tell if the Republicans fall for the trick, okay? Time will only tell. But the big thing is, this phony lie that the Republicans, the Christians, the conservatives, and you know I'm always advocating the Christian Conservative Constitutional Coalition. They say we hate blacks, we hate women, we hate Hispanics, we hate gays, we hate children, clean air, clean water, we hate everything. But check it out, folks. Tim Scott, black man, South Carolina Senator. Susana Martinez, Hispanic, woman, Governor of New Mexico. Sandoval, Hispanic, Governor of Nevada. Nikki Haley, of Indian descent, Governor of South Carolina. Jody Ernst, female, Iowa. Ted Cruz, Rubio, Hispanic, senators. Kelly Ayotte, New Hampshire senator. I mean, we could go on and on and on. Mia Love won in Utah. Shelley Moore Caputo, West Virginia Senate. Gina Riando, Rhode Island governor. Youngest woman in Congress, Elise Stefanik, up in New York, 30 years old. And so, folks, is this going to be the end of it? I doubt it. I doubt it. But you've got to give the Republican Party credit. You've got to give them credit. And more importantly, you have to give the American people credit. They have proved once again that the wizards of smart, the elites, those that think they're your betters and my betters, those who would deign to rule your life and reduce us to serfdom, those that back in 2000, when they claimed Bush stole the election, Al Gore did not want our military men. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ask these gentlemen when they come on after the break, if any of them were in the military in 2000, how did they like it when those duffel bags full of votes came in and Al Gore said, do not count them? You have to say it's over. That does not mean the Democrats are going to stop. Ask Tom Udall of Colorado what happens when you keep beating that drum. That's right. Tell him, James Brown. Tell him, please, please, please. Folks, we're going to have to let that be the last word on politics for today. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to have our guests, 3 of the heroes of Benghazi, Oz, Taunto, and Tig. Your friendly neighborhood hatchet man coming back at you live on the Big Dog for Talk in Central Virginia, and coming back at you live. And hey, it is shown enough a man's world, and we have men's men here in studio with us. Mark Oz Geist, Chris Tonto Peranto, John Tig Teagan. These are 3 of the heroes of Benghazi. And gentlemen, we want to say welcome. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your service. And God bless you. And maybe you guys would just like to just take turns, introduce yourself to the audience.
I'm John Tygan Tig, former Marine, 4 years. I did actually heating and air conditioning after that, and then I got then I got back into contracting and eventually started working for the agency.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and they always say former Marine because there's no such thing as an ex-Marine, right?
No, sir.
All right, all right.
Me, I'm Chris Peranto. Toronto. I was with the 75th Ranger Regiment, 2nd Battalion, and I started contracting approximately 10 years ago, if not a little longer after today's date. And spent a little time with 19th Special Forces Group. I was enlisted and also an officer, so sorry all those enlisted guys. I went to the dark side here in between. But yeah, and it was the same with the guys I was working there. Now I've never worked in heating and air conditioning, but primarily just military contracting for approximately about 18 years.
Yeah, 18 years.
18.
Oh, okay. And Oz?
Yeah, my name's Oz, Mark Geist. I'm from Colorado. Served 12 years in the Marine Corps. Got out, worked in law enforcement for about 6 years, and then started contracting in 2004 when the war kicked up.
Okay, okay. And so I take it all you guys were in the military in 2000 when Al Gore refused to count were any of you stationed overseas that your vote may have been in those duffel bags?
No, I wasn't in 2000. I was in the country at that time.
Yeah, I got out. This is Tig. I got out in '99.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. But you had a lot of comrades
Yeah.
whose votes sat on a dock in a
Yeah.
duffel bag.
And that's just go back to voter fraud, or whatever you want to call it. You just
Right.
whatever they can do to try to shore up the vote, not count people that should be counted. Which the
Right,
military
right.
especially needs to be counted.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was wrong. It
Yeah.
was completely wrong.
Yeah, yeah. But now, we were talking earlier, Oz, you're from Colorado, and we were talking about we were talking off air about the Mark Udall loss, that his big thing is all this phony war on women, which today is Wednesday. Normally we do the Wednesday war on the war on women. And, and they call him Tom Uterus because that's all he talked about. And you say that in one of the debates, they questioned him what was the most over-debated item in the election, and he could not say condoms or, birth control pills that cost $9 a month. Share with the audience what he said was the most over-debated thing.
He said that in response to that question, he said that Benghazi was the most over-debated issue in Washington.
Yeah, and it was like from the administration, it was either stonewalling or out-and-out lies. And now you guys were there. You've written this book. We saw, many in this audience probably saw the Fox News special, 13 Hours in Benghazi. And September 11th, I mean, the Muslim world, as a matter of fact, not just the Muslim world, but the history of combat. Do they not like to plan surprise attacks on holidays?
Oh, most definitely they do. I mean, that's the way it works. It was 5:30 in the morning when the last attack happened, and it started 13 hours before that at about 9:35 in the evening.
Right, and so these people act like on a day as important as September 11th, they're caught off guard with an attack and claim that it was spontaneous because of some YouTube video.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because just not learning from the past. The bad guys are insurgents, or whatever we want to call them. They learn from when the Tet Offensive happened. It's
Right.
the same tactics and techniques, and I guess we just still haven't figured that one out, even though how many years has it been? And so yeah, they were caught. They being DOD and Department of State were caught flat-footed.
Yeah.
You saw what happened.
Even the birth of our nation, George
Yeah.
Washington crossed the Delaware River on a holiday for
Yeah,
crying out loud.
exactly.
I mean, dude, does the Obama administration not have anyone in there that went to war college?
You know what? I don't think he does. I mean, seriously, I don't think he does. That's what it looks like.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of good men were lost,
Yeah.
and you all had some soldiers, Tyrone, Ron Woods, Glenn Bub Doherty, Sean Smith, communications expert, Ambassador Stevens, and but you were able to save
Yeah.
how many lives?
Couple dozen.
Couple dozen.
Yeah, 24. 24. We might be forgetting one. Sorry.
Right.
24, 25 people.
And that's because you can think on your feet, you can
Yeah.
think for yourselves, and an order came to stand down, and
Yep.
you all
Yep.
refused that order.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we did. After about 30 minutes, we were told 3 times to wait and stand down. And finally, the third time,
Right.
we left. It
Yeah.
was not an unlawful order. It was basically a dumb order. Let's
Right.
put it that way.
Right.
And people are
Right.
dying.
Yeah. Same thing with shooting Bin Laden. I understand Obama was told they told him 3 times, and finally he said, "Okay, go get him."
Yeah.
And so,
Maybe
I guess number 3 is a big
number
one.
3 is the charm.
yeah, three times the charm, But because you had the ability and the integrity, and you could listen to that inner voice to say, "I'm going to ignore this order, and we're going to go and lend assistance."
Yeah.
A couple of dozen people are alive.
Sure, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You know, we
better-
call that in the military leadership from bottom up,
Right. Yeah.
and that's what
because
it was.
it's not coming from the top.
Right. Right.
Yeah, in worst case scenario, it was straight up incompetence. I actually best case scenario, straight up incompetence. Worst case scenario, something shady was happening up top, and that maybe Trey Gowdy or somebody can figure out what was going on. We still don't know, but it was unfathomable with guys. You don't leave people behind, that they would actually be holding us back when they knew
Right.
people were dying on the compound, 3/4 of a mile away.
Yeah. Now, it's been said that there was a drone camera and that in the Situation Room of the White House, they were actually able to see the entire attack unfold in real time. Were you all able to get a visual on this drone to verify was there a camera drone present?
There was a drone. We were getting feed from them telling us the situation around us, but by the time it got to us, it was too late. I mean, they'd be like, "Hey, you got people moving up on you," and by then we were already engaged with them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was about, what, a couple hours after we actually left, or an hour and a half? So about midnight we had it. And, you know, we at least got the first call
Yeah, it
at
showed up on
9:30.
station probably about midnight, and you know, whether it be because the delay in communications going all the way back, because it's being monitored somewhere else in the world, and it goes back to there and then
Being
comes back
monitored
to
in the Situation Room.
Yeah.
We hope so.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Don't we,
actually-
don't we?
And
actually,
Hillary was there, and now they say now that Obama was not there, but for 7 hours his whereabouts were unknown. Any thoughts? I'm not saying you have definite knowledge,
No.
but I'm sure you've thought about it.
You had to take a nap.
He was in bed. We think he was sleeping. I mean, that's
Taking a nap?
We're speculating. Again, like you said, we're speculating.
yeah.
That's what we think was going on. He was sleeping.
you know,
So
the best way we can answer that is where would we been,
Yeah.
or where would a leader be?
Right.
He's got troops
Yeah.
in contact.
It's
You're right
Commander-in-Chief.
there. You're commander in chief. You know where where do you belong?
You belong right there.
Yeah.
Right.
You're
Yes.
controlling
Yes.
your troops. That's what doesn't care if you're a civilian. You're the commander in chief now. You're in charge
Yeah.
of the military now. You be in that war room and you're controlling what's going on, at least seeing what's going on, so you can advise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
And look,
we saw where they were at when Bin Laden got killed, because they took a picture of that
Yeah,
one just to make
yeah.
sure people would know.
yeah. But yeah, and it's fascinating that, you know, the media, I mean, you can go my entire life, even before my lifetime, any well, I don't want to get too political. Well, yeah, let's get political. let's this is the really real deal. Let's get political,
Hey, it's the
okay?
day after elections.
Right, exactly. And let's get political, okay? Eisenhower, World War II hero, they call him an amiable dunce, okay? Ronald Reagan, the greatest communicator, they said all he could do is read from a cue card. All right, George Bush, for all his inarticulateness, was a commander-in-chief at a time of war who was totally unambiguous.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
the media savaged all of these men. They say, I mean, even Bush the Elder led a coalition into war. You know, but
Yeah.
now, and when we get a Democrat, we got, whether it's Bill Clinton bombing an aspirin factory or you know, to cover up some unsavory news, or this protection of Obama because what? There's an election coming up.
Yeah.
And it is appropriate here, the day after Election Day, it is appropriate to discuss this in the context of an election where people had to die in order to have the protection of Barack Obama to protect his re-election viability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any comments on that?
You know, I think I was reading Mia Love's comment afterwards about her election win, and it's about having truth and courage. It's about
Yes.
having integrity, and that's what has to be elected. I think that's what was elected this yesterday, and that's where we got to go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Democrats, you know, Democrats in office, you can't be ambiguous when it comes to war. You got to pick a side. You got to see who the bad guy is, and you got to take them out. You can't say, well, we're going to hearts and minds this area, but we're going to be okay with the moderate Muslims and this. No, you either pick a side and you're going to take them out.
Yeah. And you know what a moderate Muslim
There
is?
is no moderate.
The moderate Muslim is the one who's not yet got the big guns.
Exactly. There's no moderate.
You know, once they arm him, he's no longer moderate because now.
Yeah, that's a political term. Moderate Muslim, that's a political term. There's no such thing. When
Yeah.
you go overseas.
Not
and
in
fight a
these
little bit.
theaters of war.
Nope.
I mean, they're beheading children.
Yeah.
Yes. But look, we're going to take a quick break, folks, and we're going to be right back with our guests live here in studio, and we're going to share with you, audience, how you can get tickets to see them speak live tomorrow, 6 to 8 p.m. You'll have to call the station here, 788-0990. Leave your name and number. We will get back with you how you can get tickets. And thank you for staying over with us. As always, it's an honor a privilege and a pleasure to come before you in your automobiles, in your homes, and over your computers and smartphones and iPads and iPods. And but it's great here, and you know, the big dogs are out, so it's not a question of who let the dogs out. We're trying to get at the bottom of who was trying to hold the dogs back in Benghazi in 2012. You have all of the Hillary Clinton double talk about it, and it's just you know, which one of you guys would just like to take this one on? The way that these things are used, men and women in the military, putting it all on the line. And as we spoke earlier, your comrades who gave the last full measure, and this is you know, this nation being at a precipice where we are so divided. Just, you know, let people know just how important it is that regardless of party, that people in elective office have the type of respect for the military and not treat military men and women in a fashion that it's really, I'm having difficulty even articulating it. It's just, I find it so unsavory. But you know, one of you guys go ahead and maybe jump on that one, please.
You know, here's down and dirty, any politician that doesn't respect the military should not be in office, period. If you don't respect the military, you don't respect the folks that are putting up and giving themselves for minimal pay as well, a lot of them, especially when they're privates. I don't think you have respect for this country. Because that's what, you know, that's what is protecting you folks, you politicians or whoever you are, to sit in your offices, make up rules, you know, get yourself paid. And they're making sure that happens and you're safe about it. So if you don't have respect for them and you don't put them at a highest pedestal, give them the best benefits when they get home with veterans benefits, take care of them, make sure they got jobs. This is guys that, you know, honorably discharged and military personnel, or at least represent them as best you can, even maybe if you don't agree with the war. You shouldn't be in office. And if people are voting for them, well, you know, I think they need to have their heads examined, honestly.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you know, my opinion is military personnel need to be held to the highest regard, because they're giving up a lot as far as just giving up even families, giving up money, giving up their freedom. Really, they don't have a lot of freedom when you're in the military. You're in the military's rule, and to be able to come back and then get slammed by some politician saying because he doesn't agree with the war, well, that's unconscionable. It shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
It just shouldn't happen, and that person needs to be voted out of office immediately.
Yeah. I mean, even my right to be behind this microphone, I think Zell Miller gave a great speech a few years ago that, you know, it's not the poet that gave us freedom of speech, and he went on and on and on, and at the end was, you know, it's the military man, you know, even the protester who burns the flag, it's the soldier whose casket is covered in the flag who gives him, the protester, the right to burn the flag in protest.
It goes back to even with Jesus, who gave there's only two people willing to give their lives for you and for your freedom. You know, what is that?
Jesus and a soldier. Yeah.
Soldier or Marine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's powerful. That's powerful. And also, folks, the gentlemen have a book signing, and they have asked me to say that it's okay to give the location.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Please come on down.
No, we're trying to tamp that thing down, and but the book signing tonight is what time is it?
It's supposed to be from 7 to 9, but we usually get there about a half hour early.
Okay,
So 7 to 9 is the actual.
7 to 9.
Yep.
At the Barnes & Nobles at Libby Place. And Libby Place is on Broad Street right at Libby Avenue, okay, which is about 10-12 minutes from downtown Richmond. Just drive due west on Broad Street at the Barnes & Nobles. And so they will be there with a book signing.
Sure.
And then, of course, tomorrow's event is a little more in depth. It's a 2-hour talk and book signing, correct?
That's more of an actual speaking engagement. There's different. We got a book signing that we might talk a little bit at. Then we actually have speaking engagements that we have some books that we can sell. So
okay.
that will actually talk. We'll be able to talk more about the incident, more about that night, and go into more of a professional speaking atmosphere. Where tonight we're just book signing, shaking hands, and if you want to have some questions, come ask us and we'll answer them for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's the Barnes and Nobles, folks, and you know, the actual. Let's talk a little bit about the actual events that unfolded that night, and you know, and you guys were how far away when you first got the call?
But 3/4 of a mile. I mean, from the consulate.
Mhm.
So we talked, and I was actually, myself and Jack were getting ready to go to bed
Oh, okay.
because
Okay.
we had to get up early. Well, I had to get up early, and we're gonna take the ambassador to a meeting.
Oh, okay. And the call came how?
The call came originally by cell phone.
Mhm.
The state guys called RTL, then RTL called us over the radio.
Okay. So when you say state guys, the State Department's people at the consulate
Yeah, the
there.
security,
Yes.
the diplomatic
Okay.
security agents.
Okay. So now, how do you get from getting a phone? Was this like a distress phone call? Hey, we're being attacked. Come help.
Yeah, I mean, they already been told they were already overrun. I mean, they're already pretty much in hiding when they made the phone call.
Oh, okay. And so how does a call get in the middle of that to say stand down, don't go help? How does that happen?
I have no idea. I mean, we were ready to go in 5 minutes. The first time, we were told to wait. It's understandable. He's trying to get us so we can link up with the local militia that's supposed to be the Department of State's QRF. But these are just
Local militia. These are
just like farmers, and and they shoot how you see them on TV. They shoot from the hip. They spray and pray. So I mean, just by them going on, could have easily killed the state guys themselves.
Yeah,
Wow.
It was how it works in the SOP on the State Department side is when they're overrun, they'll hit a panic button, and that will go out to the embassy there in Tripoli, which is the main headquarters, and then it gets pushed up on their chain, not with our chain of command, we're the CIA. Their chain of command gets pushed up to 7th floor of the State Department, and then they're making distress calls through their Tactical Operations Center. Alec Henderson is one of the State Department agents, and then that's when they start giving us calls because we aren't responsible for them. We went on to do it because we told them we would. It's not part of our job duty. So when we're getting calls on the cell phone, it's an informal way of saying, "Hey guys, we need your help."
Right.
And then we'd also provide them a radio that we shared the same frequencies on, that they were calling us on the radio and giving us, saying, "Hey guys, we're getting shot at. We're getting blown up here. They're lighting the buildings on fire," and we could hear it as well. I mean, we could hear all the fighting.
Oh, okay.
So getting the stand-on orders was us during that time frame of waiting 5 minutes, saying, "Hey, we're good. We need to go." Waiting 10 minutes, saying, "Hey, we're still waiting here. The guys are dying. We can hear them on the radio. We need to go," and then
That's
get
what
the stand down order. Yep.
Which came from the chief of base.
And our chief,
Wow.
which is our chain, and then waiting 10 more minutes. So now it's 25 minutes going and hearing them saying, finally, they finally came across here and said, "Guys are lighting the building on fire. If you don't get here, we're going to die." And that's when we basically I walked up to the chief and the TL and I said, "Hey, F you guys, get in my car." Not the chief, but our team leader.
Right.
Which is a staff officer. He's not a contractor. He's
Right.
military.
Mhm.
So get in the effing car. We need to go. And we just left.
Okay.
That was how the book goes in quite more detail, a lot more better explanation than that, but that's the gist of it right there.
Right. Now the 25 or so people that you all were able to save, how did that happen? Were they in a different building or hiding in a secure room? Or
Well, that
what?
kind of they were in a secured secured building. I don't say secured room. That also included the 5 DS agents that we went over to and rescued from the consulate and got them back to our compound. And we were just able to defend off the 2 attacks that they came onto our compound. They tried
And
to.
these were definitely coordinated.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
they had.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it's amazing that the number of people the administration sent out to sell this video. I mean, and even if it was a video, so what? It's still demons from the pit of hell trying to kill the good guys.
Exactly.
They sent more people out to sell their story than they sent to help us.
This is amazing.
Well, to give you an example, because technically we didn't exist there. So you have 5 diplomatic security State Department personnel, a communications officer for the State Department, and an ambassador who is the direct representative of the President of the United States in one of the most dangerous countries in the world, and there is no QRF other than a militia that is manned by people from, I mean, who knows? They haven't been vetted. They're just a bunch of people with guns from that local country. And that's who, technically, that's who they depended on to save them. But luckily we were there. Luckily that we had the fortitude and the integrity and the courage to not only tell the truth, but to tell them that, you know what, we're going to go anyways. And we went, and, you know, had we gone 20 minutes earlier, I think we would have saved the ambassador's life, we'd have saved Sean Smith's life. But, you know, we finally went and we saved the lives of the 5 diplomatic security personnel there, got them back to the annex, and defended 3 major attacks onto our compound. And in the last one is when we lost 2 of our own.
Wow.
Yes, it's shameful.
Yeah.
It's shameful that,
Yes.
that took place. You wouldn't think they would. I never thought that would happen to me.
Wow, wow. Yeah. If you're just joining us, folks, you are listening to an interview with 3 of the heroes of Benghazi, September 11th, 2012. Oz, Taunto, and Tig. We're going to take our final break of the evening, and we will be right back, Richmond. And we are back, Richmond, our final segment here. We want to thank you again for staying with us here on the Big Dog for Talk in Central Virginia. And we have the really real big dogs here. And, you know, Mark Oz, Geist, Chris Taunto, Peranto, John Teagan, and it's our final segment. And I would like to close the program out, gentlemen, with, you know, a little bit about some of the heroism. You know, you were sharing with me that there were other heroes, and there was a lot of heroism displayed that day, and maybe you'd like to share a little bit of that with our audience.
You know, I always want to try to end up on a positive note. Even though that night happened, the teamwork and the camaraderie between us, it was second to none. You know, I think a lot of business folks could actually even learn something from just the teamwork that is displayed under unforeseen and very difficult circumstances, and just the display of character and courage that took place that night. And I've been asked if I could do it again, would I go there again knowing what happened? I say, yeah, I would, because you can't experience that level of courage in the guys that you're with unless you're put through those sort of rigors like we did that night. So, you know, all the political stuff aside, which is still going to come to head, which still it should be. The political questions should be asked with the book. But I want people out of 13 hours, and people that read 13 hours or get 13 hours, to really get it so they can read about true courage, true character, integrity, and heroism by some remarkable individuals that evening. Definitely.
Yeah. And, you know, we just pray that lessons are being learned.
Yes.
And in the future, things are done a little bit better. Yeah. Now, also, Tig, you and your wife have started.
Oz.
Okay, I'm sorry. Mark.
Yes.
You and your wife have started a project. You were sharing during the break that there is no program to help contractors who, because you guys are soldiers too. And so share with the audience the name of your project, what it's about, and how people can get in touch with this.
The name of it, it's a nonprofit. It's called Shadow Warriors Project. The website is shadowwarriorsproject.org. There's 2 W's in that. You can email us at swp@shadowwarriorsproject.org. You know, there's, like you said, there's no short-term or long-term support. Since the war started in 2001, there's been approximately 5,000 contractors killed in action.
Wow.
That's the number that, you know, the public doesn't hear about. And, you know, these are people with, most of them, they've got prior military experience. They are out there in the dark, in the shadows, working behind the lines, working to help keep our freedoms free. And, you know, they have to make them sacrifices. Each one of us can attest to, I mean, I was probably in the last 10 years I've been contracting, I've only been home probably 3 years total out of the last 10. So I've been overseas in the Middle East for 7 years.
Yeah, and the soldier that they burned him and hung him and had the little children beating him with a stick, that was a contractor.
That was Scott Helveston. That was during the Blackwater
Former SEAL.
and Jerry Salco. Yeah, they were former SEAL, former Ranger. That was in Fallujah back in 2003. Yeah, that was, again, we're in the mix. Even probably, as you can see, with no support half the time. Contractors are out hanging out a lot more than sometimes in the military. So
Wow.
it's warranted. And all these guys we're all like special ops for infantry or Marines. We're all we're the hey,
The
what's
tip of the
difference?
spear, the cream of the
Well,
crop.
Well, you said it. I did. I won't say that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it is. It's not unfair. It's just recognize that there are also heroes out there that may not be wearing uniforms per se.
Right.
But we always will wear uniforms till the day we die.
You know, and they don't do it for recognition, but we started this project so that when they come home, or whether it's coming home upright or if it's coming home with a casket or a flag draped casket, we want to have some way of helping the families and themselves deal with the issues that come about from doing what we do. And we'd love for people to come out. They can donate, help out, whatever they can, volunteer. We just want to get the word out.
Yeah. And on a positive note, with the election yesterday, we had a ballot initiative in Virginia that the widows or widowers of slain soldiers would be exempted from any real estate taxes in the state of Virginia. It passed
That's great.
overwhelmingly.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Now, final minute, so gentlemen, go ahead and take it and run.
I want to say, I hope, seeing from the elections yesterday, I want to thank everybody that voted and actually voted correctly. And I'm hoping we may have had a little bit to do with that, with being outspoken and telling the truth, that maybe people are starting to finally come around and see that there are people that need to be voted out of office due to lack of integrity. So I want to thank those people that actually got the Senate back under the conservative and Republican side. I think they did the right things.
Yes.
So I really, really appreciate those people that did that. Thank you much. It means we didn't do it for naught.
Yes. Final 30 seconds, gentlemen.
Again, please come out, check the website for shadowwarriorsproject.org, and support us both there and by buying the book, 13 Hours. It's a great story. It's a historical moment. It's a second time in our history as this country.
Yes. Well, folks, come on out to the Barnes & Noble at Broad and Libby. These gentlemen will be there signing books, and we want to say thank you again to the three of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your service and your sacrifice. And thank you out there for listening, Richmond. We're going to see you here tomorrow. Same hatchet time, Richmond. Same hatchet station.